Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get started with a brand new chapter of One Punch Man. I am on time this time. Let's see what happens as Saitama is now at the amusement park, confronting a My Mask and a My Mask's brand new appearance. Let's get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here. Back to you yet again on a beautiful Wednesday with more One Punch Man. In the last chapter, My Mask basically completely bodied and obliterated the body of the killer clown monster, basically just pancaking this creature so much that its insides wound up outside, but also fully exposed himself to basically everyone who was watching him fight. And now that everyone has seen his true face, everyone is either terrified or disgusted, and everyone all over the world is wondering, is this really a My Mask? He's a monster! And yet, the only person to respond positively to everything that a My Mask has done is Saitama. Because when one civilian was all like, my ex-girlfriend liked you, now that makes me upset for some reason. I'm like, bruh, first of all, she's your ex-girlfriend. Why are you getting upset for her and she ain't even with you? So dude throws a rock at a My Mask, like, get out of here, monster, and Saitama catches it. And the only thing he says to Mai is, you are awesome. So let's see what happens in Punch 216. Just getting started. Oh, we have like a color page here that shows Saitama jumping out of a monitor, and it's basically Chibi Saitama. I have yet to watch season 3 of One Punch Man, but apparently some of these episodes have not been doing some of these pages justice. I'm just gonna be real with you. But Punch 216 just getting started. And Saitama is standing there in front of Amai, whose roided out monsterized looking body is in front of him. When we had tea, I wasn't sure about you, but it turns out you're actually cool. And Amai is just standing there in front of Saitama. This is your big change. Oh, no, this is Amai going, this is your big chance. If you finish me off, you'll be famous. To be present at the birth of the ideal hero would be an honor. Are you still on that? You never learn. Well, look! It's too late for me. So please. And then Saitama starts to raise his fists, and then just fist bumps him in the chest going, nah, you're just getting started. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. And then it cuts to more, while Saitama says, you ain't seen nothing yet, we see like the softer side of Amai's face underneath the monsterization. And then one of the heroes, I believe his name was Bluefire, he's noticing, and then we see Amai's veins starting to, bulge more and more as he goes, Saitama. And then Bluefire goes, get away from him! He's dangerous! And then Amai, in an instant, just swipes towards Saitama, who doesn't move at all. And Amai is gripping onto the entire body of Saitama, but Saitama hasn't moved. How's that feel? Isn't my strength as a monster incredible? Fight back, or I'll smash your head! What you gonna do? And then, while Amai is gripping tightly onto Saitama's entire upper body, Saitama just goes, hold on tight. And then we see his muscles bulge. We see Saitama's muscles bulge. And he just takes off into the air with Amai hanging on to him. Saitama literally is all like, hold on tight, bro. And he just said, bro, you better hold on. Yeah, better clench up, Legolas. And he just takes off into the air with such power that the dust and shockwave created from it causes people to shield themselves. And there is a massive crater from the impact of Saitama leaping off into the air from where both he and my mask were. And while he's flying, I think Saitama's the one who says, "You should become the ideal hero." And while that's happening, we see Saitama flying into the air over the neighborhood with Amai still hanging on to him. Genos is walking by a subway track and he sees Saitama in the air. And then we get the news.
Next in the news, everyone is talking about a monster incident that occurred around 4 o'clock today in City 1. Numerous witnesses attest to having seen Handsome Cayman with the appearance of a monster.
Oh wait, this is a dude. Everyone is talking about a monster incident that occurred around 4 o'clock today in City 1. Or is it City I? I think it's City I. Yeah, it's City I. In City I, numerous witnesses attest to having seen Handsome Cayman with the appearance of a monster. Specialists are analyzing video footage to determine the truth of these claims. The Hero Association intends to address the matter following deliberation. My mask remains unavailable for comment as online debate heats up regarding his treatment should he prove to be a monster. Some voices urge his immediate capture and consideration of his abuse of power to deceive people, while others have even called for his death. And then we get a group of people at the Hero Association going, "We have confirmed that the video isn't fake. Bald Cape was taken away by the monster but came back unharmed. He says he doesn't know his abductor's location." They don't realize that My Mask wasn't the one who took Saitama. Saitama was the one who took him. "This is a disaster. A heavy blow to our standing." Don't you guys sound like the Gorosei? "Sponsors are beginning to request compensation for damages." The Hero Association's poster boy turned out to be a monster. Couldn't anyone have seen through him? He always arrived via helicopter and landed on the roof, thereby avoiding Metal Knight's monster detection gate. He came and went from headquarters, which is enemy territory to him. As cool as you please. What a dreadful monster. According to some accounts, he saved park visitors from injury. Yeah, but that's according to former members of Narinki's personal security force, and they were utterly worthless in the operation against the Monsters Association. Do you really think we can trust him? Then we have McCoy sitting in with the board, with the executives of the Hero Association. I knew, I said this in the last reaction, McCoy is going to use this as ammo against the Hero Association so we can prop up the Neo Heroes even more. I said this, and he's going, "They're merely trying to get on our good side, so we'll treat them favorably and maybe even employ them as heroes." Figures, what a bunch of losers. How will the association continue to bring in donations? We've always relied on his popularity to boost funding. We'll have to find a new spokesperson. We've sent scouts everywhere, but to no avail. Everyone says they've contracted elsewhere. You mean our new competitor? How galling! With Blast basically off the grid, a My Masked membership was crucial. And then everyone's going, "Enough! Stop talking about him!" And Sitch is just sitting by, listening. And then he's on his phone going, "As usual, it appears Neo Heroes got to the press. Let's hear from the heroes." Cell phone, what do Heroes Association heroes say? Caption, even Watchdog Man didn't spot it. If he really was a dangerous monster, I should have sniffed it out. And that is Dogman. Caption, Zombie Man keeps his lips sealed. The matter is under investigation. I can't comment until the evidence is in. Then we have caption, a profound statement from Tankatopa Master. Personally, I believe that his actions were top of the tank top. And then we have caption, what about heroes and neo-heroes? But we have news people going, such reassurances are unconvincing even from heroes in the Hero Association. As our commenter, what do you think, Mr. Dano? I don't know. How do you bring a person who never says he knows anything? Why do you keep putting him on air? It's like the news people putting Josh and Mama on TV more than once, despite the fact them jokers can't cook. Caption: What about heroes and neo-heroes? Now let's talk to heroes in the new organization known as neo-heroes. And then we get A. Sincerity and trust. That's our motto. Neo-Heroes emphasizes technology to maximize those principles, and thereby manage our personnel to perfection. When it comes to Amai and the Hero Association, they're in this lamentable situation because they only care about appearances and neglect heroic qualities. The lack of professionalism is egregious. And then Metalbat is there, and someone's whispering to Metalbat going, huh? You want me to make Amai and HA look bad? Alright, here comes the camera. They're literally telling Metalbat to say something to make the Heroes Association and Amai Mask look bad. Literally saying like, yeah, throw some dirt on your former friends and associates, because we need to make ourselves look good. And then the director goes, action. Hey, yo, Amai Mask. I don't know if you're really a monster, but if you ain't done nothing wrong, there's no reason to hide. So quit sneaking around. If you're a man, come out with your head held high. The Hero Association may not see nothing, but you can't fool us heroes. And then the director goes, okay, thank you. Whew. Then we get second goal. Well done. You handled that deftly. Nah, I just said what I thought. That's all from the Neo-Heroes. Very insightful, wouldn't you agree, Mr. Totes God? Yeah, totally godlike. I thought you two didn't get along. Well, my little sis was thrilled to get his autograph. And it shows both Second Gar, and Metalbat just in the Neo-Heroes tower. So, now we're seeing just a little bit of the fallout from Amai. Yo! Good to see you, Ogata, and Halster as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 216. So Saitama's there, saying like, you did a good job. Amai wants to give Saitama the opportunity to be the ideal hero he thinks he could be, but Saitama's all like, nah, I ain't interested. You could be a good hero, though, despite the fact that Amai basically looks like a monster. And when Amai tries to force his hand, not realizing that Saitama literally is, him in every sense of the word, he's all like, okay, you want to do this? Fine. But we're going to take this elsewhere. And then while Amai is hanging on, Saitama forcibly takes them elsewhere. Just all like, hold on tight, and just jumps into the air away from the crowd. Saitama's just being Saitama. I love it. Yeah, that's the best type of Saitama. When he's just himself, but also when he's being genuine to someone. Despite how he hates people explaining things to him in less than 20 words or less, when he starts being genuine, they tend to be some good chapters, especially when he's speaking heart to heart with another individual. The manga webcomic is 100 times better than the season 3 animation. Backbencher, first of all, hi, and I've seen some of the animations for season 3. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It is not good at all. There's literally no reason why it should be worse than Season 2. And Season 2 had moments where the animation took a dip in quality compared to Season 1. Remember the Saitama versus Genos fight? That alone was like god tier animation. And I use the term versus very loosely here because it's Saitama, but Genos versus Saitama is literally one of the best animated fights I have ever seen in an anime. Then we get Season 2, unfortunately. The quality goes down just a little bit. And then we get to Season 3. and I get flashbacks to season 3 of Seven Deadly Sins. You know, the fight between Meliodas and Escanor. I get memories. Or the animation where it shows Meliodas laying up in bed, but it's all like really weird. Power corrupts people, not Saitama. Exactly. So what it shows here is that despite all the power despite everything, Saitama is not moved by Amai trying to force him to be the ideal hero that the association needs, that the people needs. He's all like, nah, we gonna do this in a way that benefits not just that benefits you, because I really don't care either way. That has always been Saitama's stance. He doesn't really care about public opinion. He's just here to just fight monsters and be a hero. And he constantly says, I'm just a hero for fun. He's not doing to grandstand, to be this paragon of truth, not to be the symbol of peace. He's not trying to be the next All Might, so to speak, using it as an example. He's just out here being a hero because it's fun to him. But he's just so powerful that everything ends in one punch. So he's literally just the only thing that actually gives him, a semblance of emotional joy is literally just living his daily lives. Everything else, monsters included, just sometimes turns out to be an inconvenience to him. Remember the chapters when Amai was dragging him to do all those lessons and Saitama was all like, yeah, I really don't care about any of this. I like the food, but I really genuinely don't care. He's just trying to live his life the best he can. And he's trying to do that while people keep pestering him, while monsters keep thinking that they can actually do something to him. All this power. We saw some of the craziest, and I want to say we saw some of the craziest things that Saitama could do back when he was fighting Garo. Cosmic Fear Garo. That was some of the strongest we have ever seen Saitama. What you mean? What you mean this man sneezed in space and then blew almost all the gases off of Jupiter? What you mean he moved so fast that both he and Garo were creating mini constellations because of the speed they were moving? What you mean that the force of their punches meeting each other literally erased an entire section of space in the distance? So powerful that Blast had to say you had to teleport the force of that punch away, and now there's a void of space that's just empty now. Yet with all of that power, he is not tainted by it. The only annoyance he had from his power was the fact that it made him go bald. That's literally it. But with all that power, he has not been corrupted by it. He has not tried to use his power to make himself more famous. He hasn't used it in order to force his way or throw his weight around with people. For the most part, actually for every single time he's used his power, it's either to defeat monsters or help someone else. Those have been the only reasons he's used his powers. Like his superior, his infinite strength has only been used for others. Like that one time when the police were being dragged through the mud in the face of the civilians. He dressed up like a police officer. I brought this up like 2 chapters ago. He dressed up as a police officer in order for that certain police station to have, greater standing with the civilians and to save face, because people on the outside were trying to ostracize them and try to make them look bad. He dressed up as a police officer, beat a monster, and now that police station is more favorable in the eyes of the civilians, and the people who tried to get rid of him, yeah, they got beat too. Then he used the opportunity of him basically killing the Deep Sea King and made himself look like the villain, so that all the other heroes that were beaten by the Deep Sea King made it seem like, ha 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 ha, I beat him. You guys are just so weak. He was willing to make himself look like a bad person if it meant saving the face of the other heroes with whom he didn't have no connection to, no obligation to help. He went out of his way to help them. Because Saitama doesn't care about public opinion. He's going to use his power to save people and be a hero. Now, whether people see his version of being a hero as truly being a hero, or they're just so used to people that look good on camera and do stuff all flashy, like Saitama's all like, punch, and it's over, and then he goes home. He don't stand around for interviews. He don't try to do autographs. He ain't trying to be famous. He's just there to be a hero. Literally the greatest example of a hero, only without the need of him to try and capitalize on it. So when you get Saitama, who sees a Mai, a person who has been shown to be essentially the person that everyone wants to be with, men and women, he sees this person on camera and he's having the worst day of his life. His worst possible secret is officially out now. Public opinion is changing in that one moment. And all he can think of is, let me go back. I was going to play some games with King, maybe win an actual game out of the thousands I've lost. Let me go back. And let me be there to, congratulate Amai on being really, really cool. Despite the fact that Amai is disgusted with his own face. The fact that other people are disgusted with his own face. Questioning everything they ever knew of Amai Mask. Saitama shows up as all like, you did good. In the midst of a crowd that couldn't even be bothered to leave because they were so enamored by his handsome face. Now everyone wants him to either be killed or to be captured. They flipped on a dime. But Saitama's all like, you did good. This may seem bad, but you're just getting started. And then he takes a Mai Mask with him. Just takes off. And Saitama's all like, yeah, I don't know where he is. And the thing is, the reason why Saitama is the best possible person to keep a secret is the fact that you can't make Saitama do anything. That is literally the best person to have in your corner. I don't know where he is. We have ways of making you talk. No, you don't. Because you can't stop Saitama. You can't restrain him. You have no hopes of ever beating him because he's just that strong. He is the quintessential example of unstoppable force and immovable object at the same time. So, with Saitama just dropping off a Mai and say like, yeah, I don't know where he is. He got away. Because as far as everyone else is concerned, no one knows Saitama's strength except for Amai, Genos, and basically anyone else who has ever physically tried to encounter Saitama. Only those people know how strong he is. The public just sees him as like, oh, Bald Cape. Oh, he managed to get away from a Mai Mask unharmed, not knowing that if Saitama wanted, he could have obliterated a Mai with literally no trouble at all. So while that's going on, now we see the results of how fickle the public is. Because everyone's talking about, like, let me go back through this. Yeah. We got the Heroes Association. We got the news going. Everyone is talking about a monster incident that occurred around 4 o'clock today in City I. Numerous witnesses attest to have seen Handsome came in with the appearance of a monster. Specialists are analyzing video footage to determine the truth of these claims. The Hero Association intends to address the matter following deliberation. A Mai Mask remains unavailable for comment as online debate heats up regarding his treatment should he be proven to be a monster. Some voices urges his immediate capture in consideration of his abusive power to deceive people, while others have even called for his death. So, here's the thing. These people are saying, like, he deceived us! This man ain't never said he wasn't a monster. This man ain't never said that he didn't have, like a secondary appearance. You deceive us because you didn't tell us. I didn't tell you because I knew you react this way. While others have even called for his death. Then we get the association going, this is a disaster, a heavy blow to our standing. Sponsors are beginning to request compensation for damages. The Hero Association's poster boy turned out to be a monster. Couldn't anyone have seen through him? He always arrived via helicopter and landed on the roof, thereby avoiding Metal Knight's monster detection gate. He came and went from headquarters, which is enemy territory to him, as cool as he pleased. What a dreadful monster. According to some accounts, he saved park visitors from injury. Yes, but that's according to former members of Narinki's personal security force, and they were utterly worthless in the operation against the Monsters Association. So the fact that some lives were saved matters really little, because all they're concerned with is how it looks to PR. According to some accounts, he saved park visitors from injury. Note that you won't see a single civilian. You don't see a single civilian has died because of the encounter with this killer clown. Everyone got out of it pretty much unscathed. Even the people who were on the Ferris wheel, they got out of it unscathed. Because Handsome Cayman decided to save their lives and be a hero, even at the expense of his appearance changing. Because the clown, compared to a My Mask, was just that strong. But all that matters to the execs, except for Sitch, because out of everyone at that table, Sitch is the only person that actually looks out for the heroes and considers what it means to be a hero, and couldn't care less about the PR stuff, just more like, are our heroes being heroes? He is the only person that I trust on that entire round table that they have. Least of all McCoy, because he's using all of this information to make the HA look bad, to make the Hero Association look bad. That's literally the only reason why he's still at the Hero Association, to make them look bad as possible until they have no hopes of recovering, and then leaving them high and dry so that Neo Heroes can rise up in its place. That's the reason why they've been poaching people. Saying like, oh, this is the best place to be. The best benefits. You can truly be a hero here, while they're also employing people that used to be former ne'er-do-wells and people with rap sheets and everything, just to make the Hero Association look bad. This is like a PR battle now. It's exactly what it is. The public in this chapter is just a lot like a lot of the public in real life. Yeah, it is. Trust is easy to lose, but hard to build. And all it takes is just one matter to take years of your life that you've dedicated. Years of your life of people enjoying what you do, or something that people have found favor of you in. And all it takes is just one mistake for all of that to be just wiped away in an instant. We have seen constant examples of that. So it's literally how things go. It doesn't matter how many lives you saved. Oh, he's a monster. That's what people center on. And that shows you how jaded the public actually is in the world of One Punch, simply because it, just like the people in My Hero Academia, they lived a life where they relied on heroes so much that they failed to realize how important it was for them to also be heroes and help people out as well. Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you. Okay, we got all these heroes that are saving us, so we might as well go about our lives. Oh, a child on the streets that could possibly need a hand? Nah, we'll let a hero take care of it. But in the world of One Punch, people are so used to heroes handling all the significant threats that reason and madness have literally gone out the window. They don't acknowledge the fact that all of their lives have been saved. They only acknowledge the fact that what saved us was a monster. And I'm more concerned about the monster part than me being saved part. So it really, these people in the world of One Punch have been fundamentally ruined by the presence of heroes. That they can't honestly reason and think for themselves, but just let public opinion be the deciding factor. Oh, the monsters from the Monster Association threaten us, and they tried to kill us. We've seen the monsters that tried to kill us. The heroes fought, but the monsters still tried to kill us. And now the Monster Association is over and done with. Orochi's gone. Giro Giro is gone. I hope I'm saying that name right. But people's opinion on monsters as a whole has not changed. And the fact that one of the top heroes, mind you, he's not S rank, but he's literally one of the most well-known heroes. The fact that his appearance changed into that of a monster, ignoring the fact that he saved an entire gigantic Ferris wheel from toppling over and, killing multiple people. The fact that he restrained that monster as long as he could while his appearance was changing and even killed the creature. I'm pretty sure that killer clown is completely dead with its insides outside now. Despite every good thing that a Mime Mask has done at this amusement park to protect these people's lives, all it took was that moment for him to look like a monster, for everyone to go like, all my years of watching you be in movies, going to your concerts, buying your products, seeing you as this holier than thou individual, none of it matters now. Because you're a monster. And people just take that and run with it. It just shows you how disappointing of a civilian system we have here in One Punch Man. But I will say one thing, though. The one person that is probably going to be able to turn this thing around is Saitama. Because, one, he doesn't care about public opinion of himself. He does know right from wrong, even if it's like a real basic view of it. But at the end of the day, that's really all you kind of need. You don't need to be so blasé about that sort of thing. But when it comes to Saitama, I can think of no better person to stand against this sort of mentality due to his very nature as an individual. He is literally so powerful that he doesn't need to even worry about the opinions of other people. He knows a hero when he sees one. He knows a good person when he sees one. So this whole stint of what's going to happen to a Mime Mask, this whole PR, especially with the fact that this is going to make the Hero Association look even worse due to how much they lauded a Mime Mask as their literal poster boy for the association. Even more than a terrible tornado when they tried to use her for a PR stunt. It was nice and all, but people were kind of put off by it. You put a Mime Mask face on literally anything, it sells. It's gold, it's platinum, it's insta-buy. It's day one purchase, every time. But now, with their biggest poster boy apparently gone, making things awkward for them, this should be an interesting time to see how the Hero Association moves, both with its own heroes and how Neo Heroes is going to move, with them trying to make former heroes of the HA look bad. And then I have to commend Metal Bat as well. He didn't outwardly try to dismiss the HA. He didn't go out of his way to speak ill of them. He just spoke from the heart. Now, to those who are ignorant, it sounds like he's either talking bad about a Mime Mask, but to those who actually pay attention to his words, realize that he's doing it in a roundabout way. He's actually addressing a Mime Mask, saying, a Mime Mask, I don't know if you're really a monster, but if you ain't done wrong, there's no reason to hide. So quit sneaking around. If you're a man, come out with your head held high. The Hero Association may not see nothing, but you can't fool us heroes. So, to those who are on the outside looking in, when he says, the Hero Association may not see nothing, but you can't fool us heroes, they're probably assuming he says, like, the Hero Association may not be able to see that you're a monster, but you can't fool us heroes. We can see you're a monster. That's what the people who want a Metal Bat to speak ill of them, that's what they're assuming he means. But a Metal Bat, and I can see through what Metal Bat is saying. He's saying, like, you can't fool us heroes. We know you're a hero. They may not be able to see it, but we can. That's what Metal Bat is saying. However, his wording is not so easily interpreted to the dim-witted. So, he's literally calling out a Mime Mask, saying, like, if you didn't do anything wrong, you ain't gotta hide. The Hero Association may not see that there's nothing wrong with you, my bro, but you can't fool us heroes. We know you're a hero deep down inside. Your appearance doesn't matter, but we know you're a hero. That's what I get from Metal Bat saying that. It's not directly addressing what happened, but he's saying it in a way that it sounds that way. And everyone will probably assume, like, oh, he's speaking ill of the heroes, but we know better. Metal Bat ain't that type of dude to speak ill about his own associates like that easily. He's not. Second Gar isn't. Emperor isn't. Metalbat isn't. Especially considering that his sister likes listening to a My Mask music. He knows in My Mask. He knows him. So that's another thing I liked about this chapter was this little moment with Metalbat where he was just, calling out Amai, but not in a way that made it seem like he was actually trying to bring him down or speak ill of him. But it's all like, if you ain't got nothing to hide, bruh, then just come out. You can't fool us heroes. We know you're still a hero. That's what it seems like to me. Overall, I thought this was a pretty decent chapter. For someone so young, Saitama is very mature. Yes. For someone so young and for his emotions to be slightly muted because of the amount of strength that he has, he is surprisingly insightful. Despite his lack of, I won't say empathy, because his level of emotional intake and output is, essentially nerfed because of the amount of power that he has. So he's like slightly, just kind of slightly detached a little bit. But he is surprisingly mature for someone who wields this much power. I'm curious, and I gotta read what else you guys have said. Let's see. When the Neo heroes have to be controlled, I really don't want them to fight Metalbat or Super Alloy Black Luster. The others, I don't care if they get taken down or dragged through the mud in reputation. Let's see. He is not corruptible. That's why God is afraid of him. I won't say that God is afraid of Saitama. It's just that the amount of power that Saitama outputs is enough to have God put his attention on him. But I said this years ago. A confrontation between Saitama and God. That is a 100% possibility. And when that happens, a new death battle will probably have to happen because they're going to have to address the fact that Saitama literally beat God. So that's going to be funny. But Genos got tricked by Dr. Kusano. It would be interesting to see how Genos fares now. Does he go bad until Saitama interferes? I don't see that happening due to the fact that, well, Genos is still chilling at the Hero Association, and he still addresses Saitama as master. So I don't see Genos changing just because of the Dr. Kusano thing. I don't think he's going to be changing because of that. I feel like he's still going to be a hero. It's just that he can't look to Dr. Kusano for anything anymore. That's it, though. Let's see, I'm curious why Blast's son is part of Neo Heroes and wonder if he'll fight Blast if the Hero Association clashes with Neo Heroes. Here's my thing, Ogata. Before the redraws and before all 14 of those previous chapters that I had to read through all over again, before all of that got changed, we had a storyline that showed that Blast's wife was actually Empty Void's sister, and she was put next to Blast to be, to infiltrate his life and be a spy. And Blast eventually marries her, and they have a son, and that's Blast's son, Blue. But I don't know if we can't really rely on that entire storyline anymore as to a potential reason as to why Blue wants to oppose his father's own association that he's a part of. We still don't know. So that whole storyline where Blast first encountered Void before, meeting the families and finding out that members of that family were monsterized because they got tempted by God and things happened, and then even Empty Void got tempted, but we found out that it was all a ploy so he could build up more people that were capable of building an army so he could then eventually take on God himself, because Empty Void knew that at some point Saitama would have a part to play, but that entire storyline is gone now because of the redraws and everything's been redone. So literally everything about Blast's past has been redone. So I don't know if we can count that as canon. I'm pretty sure we can't count that as canon anymore. So I wonder, what is the reason for Blue doing this? So I have to agree. I wonder why he's the top dog in this place as well. We don't even know if he's got any powers. We don't know if he has the same powers as his dad, if he inherited them, or if it's something else entirely. We don't know what he can do, nor the reason why Neo Heroes is a thing in the first place. So I hope we find that out soon. However, I think we won't find out Blue's true purpose in the Neo Heroes and his motivations until we get past this whole Amai Mask thing that's happening now. Because I feel like that's still going to be a thing for a couple more chapters. Because while Amai is gone currently, we still got to deal with the fallout of all the stuff that's happened to him. So we still got a ways to go. We still got a ways to go. But overall, I want to say that this was a good chapter simply because it is now upsetting the status quo of some heroes in the Hero Association, which is only going to make the Neo Heroes look even better. And with all this PR, they're using this opportunity to make the HA look even worse, while the Neo Heroes look even better, saying like, we do all of this because we want our heroes to be heroes. We'll take the time to make sure that they're cultivated properly, so that none of them can wind up as Amai Mask has. Using this opportunity to, prop themselves up just a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see in the next chapter. I don't know if we're going to get another chapter this month or if we're going to go back to like 1 or 2 chapters a month as we always have. But should be interesting to see where the next bit of the story goes now that the world is reacting to this news of Amai Mask basically being a monster man. But we'll see. Overall, good chapter. I enjoyed it, especially the Saitama moment and the Metal Bat moment. And overall, the structure for this particular chapter was good, was well done as well. So I'm looking forward to the next one. Backbencher, Halster, and Ogata, and anyone else who happens to be watching at this time. I enjoyed this chapter, and I'm looking forward to the next one. But we'll see when that next one pops up. But I'm done for today. All I can say to everyone else here is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even consider supporting me on Patreon or being a member, of course, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!